honestly speaking, the simpler your lifestyle is, the happier you'll be and the more you'll accomplish in your life. What I mean by this is that if you only focus on simple things, like very basic things, like waking up early, going to the gym, then when you finish work, you come back, you eat a simple meal. And a simple meal, I mean single ingredient foods like potatoes and chicken, and not processed meat that complicates and can create chemicals and problems in your body. If you keep your life as simple as possible, you'll be able to achieve more. You'll have more energy for yourself. You will be more focused. But if you're tackling multiple things, right? If you're doing multiple things, like you're working on this one business, you're working on another business, you're working on a YouTube channel, you're working on some paperwork for your job, you're going to the gym, and at the same time you're also you may be doing other activities like volleyball or soccer. You're over involved. If you're overly involved in stuff, you're gonna get overwhelmed, man, eventually. You know, it's fun to, it's good to keep things interesting and dynamic, but at the same time, you gotta have a balance. You gotta keep your life as simple as possible, because that's the only way you're gonna have clarity. If you're in your room and you have 20 different t-shirts, you have 20 different pairs of shoes, you have like a massive hoarding collection of just like stuff that you've collected over the years that you just haven't bothered to throw away. When you see that stuff, bro, it brings stress, man. It overwhelms you, because now you're thinking, what should I wear? What should I get rid of? What should I do with this? What should I do with that? Oh, this box is in the way. You know, it just overcomplicates things, and it makes your decision-making skills more complicated, and it also forces you to procrastinate more. When you have so many options available to you, when you overcomplicate your life in every aspect, you will get tired more easily, because now you have to make so many decisions at the same time. But if you were to wake up and only have like a certain, maybe 2 or 3 pairs of shoes, one for indoor, one for outdoor, one for formal, when you go to formal events. If you keep that simple, bro, you don't have to think about it. You know what I mean? But if you have like 6 outdoor shoes and 6 indoor shoes, now you have to make a decision. What am I gonna wear? How is this gonna match my outfit? Well, you know, I have now. You have to maintain those articles of clothing as well. So now you gotta clean those shoes if they get dirty, especially the white shoes. It's the same thing with having vehicles. If you have multiple cars, you gotta deal with more fees, maintenance fees. You gotta make sure that you're keeping those cars in good condition. You gotta, you know. But if you just have one vehicle, it makes your life so much easier, bro. And this also can correlate to finance as well. If you are in the game of the housing market, where you think that purchasing multiple properties, right? So you bought a house, and then the next year you buy another house on a mortgage, obviously. Then you buy another house the following year on a mortgage, under the assumption that you're gonna be really rich. But no, man, it takes time to pay off the mortgage. But if you own, you don't even own, the bank owns those 3 houses. Bro, you're gonna spend a lot of your money on paying off the mortgage. But even if you have tenants, even if you have people that are helping you pay off the mortgage, it still complicates your life, because you have to still deal with other maintenance fees and other potential complications that may occur. You gotta do things step by step. You shouldn't do everything at once. It takes time to build wealth. Right? It takes time. You gotta do things slow. Keep it simple at first. Have a foundation before you start overcomplicating things. You know, a lot of people in their lives, they feel like they need to rush into life, and they feel like they need to have so many things to make them happy, or to get validation from other people. But it just overcomplicates your life. It stresses your life out. It costs more money. There's a lot of negatives. There's more negatives to it. But if you just keep your life in a minimalist lifestyle, like keep it as simple as hell, as simple as possible, I promise, man, you'll have more content. You'll have more time to work on the things that you want to work on. You'll feel happier inside. But having so many things, like I had this problem too, man. Like I used to buy so many different electronics. I had so many different video game consoles. I had an Xbox, a PlayStation, a Wii. And then over time, it's like I stopped playing with them, and it eventually just collected dust. And at the same time, I had to make a decision, like, what am I going to play today? Oh, am I going to play this? Am I going to play that? It's the same with video games as well. Video games are coming out all the time. Different games are coming out all the time. But then I've noticed that when I start playing a video game, sometimes I don't even beat the game because there's another game that piques my interest. And then I'm only about 60% through the campaign of one game, and I move on to the next one. But then I feel a sense of incompletion. I feel like, oh man, I should have completed it. It was like a waste of money. Deal with one thing at a time, man. Don't try to give yourself so much complication, man. Don't try to overcomplicate your life. Because if you do, you're gonna just have a lot of problems. You really will. That's why for me, man, I just try to keep my day as simple as possible. Like, my average day is like I go to the gym, you know, I do a bit of studying, language study. I eat single ingredient foods for the most part. I keep my day as simple as possible, and my friendship circle is the same too. I keep my friendship circle very small. I only hang out with certain people because I have a limited amount of energy that I can give myself out to. But if I have a large social circle, I have to give out so much energy to other people that you're gonna feel really, really exhausted at the end of the day. And when you get older, your social battery just starts to drain, man. When you're young, yeah, you can talk to anyone. You know, you can have like 100 best friends or whatever. But when you get older, everyone has their own lives, and your social battery gets limited. It depletes. So does everything else in your life. So that's why, man, you need to keep your life as simple as possible. Like, that's the only way, man. That's the only way for you to be happier, more productive in your life, and, you know, gain more clarity and stuff like that. It's literally the only way. There's no other way for that. You see a lot of these celebrities and stuff, they're struggling, you know, going through depression, going through all these problems and drug addiction and stuff. You know why? It's because they have so much in their life. They can get anything that they want. They can, you know, they have so much power in that sense, right? So that's why, man, some people, man, who have a lot of money, like, they can get anything they want, but at the same time, a lot of them are not happy because they haven't kept their life simple, and their money has just like ruined them. You know, my money for them is just the main motive. Like, that's all they care about, right? They don't care about faith, believing in a higher power. They don't care about generosity and giving back to society as much as people who don't have much, you know. So, you know, it's very important to just keep your life simple. And a lot of people who live out in the wilds, who live in the forest, who have built their own cottage, who live in the farmland, who live in nature, and who don't have much, right? They have very, very little. Those people are the happiest people ever. Those people are just content with their lives. They radiate energy. I've noticed that. I met people like farmers and stuff like that, right? And, you know, people who live who've decided to live in a cottage out near a lake or in a mountainous area. A lot of them are just happy because they're self-sufficient. They realize that they didn't need much to have a happy life. They didn't need a lot of man-made objects to live a happy life. They don't need that stuff, right? And I think that, you know, when we get older, we get trapped into this consumerist mindset that the more we have, the better off we'll be, the happier off we'll be. All of us get trapped into this. And I kind of call it the Matrix too, in a way, because we do get trapped in this, in that type of mindset that we're always chasing more. We're always chasing more money, more girls, more cars, more this, more that, you know. But it's actually the opposite. Is the less we have of those things, the happier we'll be. The more simple our life will be. The less complications we'll have. The more peace of mind that we'll have. The less stress we'll be. You know, so try to. if you're watching this video, try to relook at your life, man. Look at your life again and introspect and try to think about maybe things that you could get rid of and how to simplify your life before it's too late.